Hello everyone, Sableye here and welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be taking a look at the two regionals that happened this past weekend in Gdańsk, Poland and Brisbane, Australia. Of course, we're going to start with Gdańsk because it felt like the logical starting point to me. And to start things off, guys, everybody's beloved Rock Fire Dog has done it again. Arcanine with its 6th straight regional win. And we are saying straight because I'm looking at Gdansk before I look at Brisbane. But anyways, otherwise than that, it is putting up incredible numbers right now. It saw a little bit of usage in Regulation D. And arguably, in my opinion, not enough usage in Regulation D. But people are starting to realize just how strong this Pokemon is and how strong this Pokemon can be when given the tools to succeed. And that's its 6th straight regional win. And obviously, guys, like, we've seen this before. Like, Incineroar has done crazy stats like this as well, right? Like, it's not like the first time a Pokemon has ever done stuff like this. But it's worth hyping up because, like, this Pokemon is incredible. It's doing incredible things right now. And, like, it's weird because normally, like, the Incineroar role that, like, dominated with, like, 25 of 27 or something dumb like that of regionals back in its era before it gets reintroduced, hopefully. But, you know, it's one of those ones where you'd like to think that Arcanine is on that same trajectory right now, you know? But, like, it's used different because Incineroar was, like, that pivot piece. It was the glue to the team. Arcanine, well, yes, it does have that Intimidate, and it does kind of hinder your opponents. A lot of these variants are just Choice Banded, and are just spamming Rock Slide under Tailwind, Flare Blitz under Tailwind, or a Head Smash if they need to, Extreme Speed to pick off endgames. It's a very different piece than Incineroar ever was. And obviously, comparing it to Incineroar, probably not even worth it at this point. But you see it here, guys, once again. First and second place this time with Torn Ursh once again. Something. Torn Ursh is still strong. Something. I don't know. I don't know what else to say about Torn Ursh at this point, guys. It's still going strong. You might as well stick with it. You guys are going to see it for the rest of Regulation E. At this point, there's nothing else to say on it. What I do have stuff to say on, though, is Eric's team in 3rd place with the Salamence. It's almost like someone said Salamence was a cool niche pick for Regulation E in a previous video. Y'all should check that out. It's linked up above. But besides the point, really cool to see the Salamence getting the usage that I think it deserves to see. Just being that Tailwind setter, being able to resist both of the Water Urshifu stabs, match the Tailwinds of the Torn, kind of be bulky, have that special flying coverage if you want to choose for that, right? It just feels like a really strong piece, and I'm very happy Eric was able to use it to success on a very cool team as well. I love seeing King Gambit, so I'm never going to complain. Just before we get into the Landorus Incarnate at 7th place, really quickly, is Fluttermane back? Is Fluttermane back? We've got 5 in the top 8 right here, and I think that is actually probably its best showing in Regulation E. I might be incorrect on that, but very close to its best showing if it's not, because it showed up, right? You also see it down here quite a bit in the top 16, just outside of top 16 area. So there's definitely a showcase for Fluttermane that was coming out in Gdańsk, and honestly, I think it's time, right? Terra Dragon is starting to pick back up in usage again, so Fluttermane once again coming in to shut that down, right? It's still a good piece. I don't think people were forgetting about it. People were just kind of experimenting a little more with Gholdengo, but now you're seeing Fluttermane creep back in to deal with those Terra Dragons. I think it's an incredible option still. Very cool to see it pick back up in usage. Like I said, Landorus Incarnate, David A's team, and it's just a good special attacker, okay? Do you ever wish that your ground type did massive damage and was faster than Urshifu? I do, sometimes. Hey, why not? It does massive damage, it's faster than Urshifu. It is a really good piece. The problem with Landorus I is it's not very spammable. You need to find the right team for it, and obviously Davide did a very good job of finding it here. Surprised to not see the normal speed control I was expecting. Like, if I was ever going to see a Lando I was expecting it, you know, with that Tornadus, because you want to be able to make sure you're still faster than the Ursh. You know, you get the Prankster Tailwind, you get going faster, right? And I feel like that's what would have been necessary to make this mon work, but it's really cool to see it almost on more of a, like, an actual balanced team, actually, which is not what I was expecting to see. So really cool to see the Lando I right there. You know, Jamie Boyt obviously got top 4 at Toronto Regionals with the Roaring Moon and the base Ogerpon, and Jamie Boyt went home and just immediately started cooking again, and I mean, That is a Galarian Articuno. I'm sure he will be releasing a video on his channel about this. I will link that channel down below, of course, for you guys to check out. Because honestly, Boyt is one of the best team builders to ever play play this game, in my opinion. Because he always comes up with something creative, and there's always something. It always works. Like, it's always like so well thought out and so well planned. It's not like, oh, I just want to use this because it's fun. It's, I want to use this because there's actually like a niche to it. And once again, unfortunately, he did, I believe, bubble, because I believe there was a couple 11-4 results that snuck into top 8 as well. It might have just been one, but the 9th place is technically a bubble. So really, really cool team once again from Boyt. Be sure to check them out. And one last thing quickly before we move off of Gdansk here. The usage stats for day 2 are incredibly, incredibly concerning and showcase why this format is so stale. We have 7 Pokemon from the day 2 usage stats that are sitting at 40% or higher. And that's ridiculous. Normally you see maybe 2 or 3 that are incredibly high. Everything else kind of falls off to like the lower 20s and stuff like that. Right? But when you have this many Pokemon, you are throwing if you are not using like 3 or 4 of them on every single team. And that just makes this meta incredibly centralized. And centralized metas aren't bad if there's enough different centralizations. However, when there's things that are very clearly better than the rest, and if you're not using them, you're probably not being optimal, or you're not playing right, or you're hindering your chances, just feels a little not so great, not very creative. So looking forward, and hopefully Regulation F coming up shortly will allow that more creativity. But 40% usage, 7 Pokemon above 40% usage, absolutely, absolutely insane. Completely ridiculous. I don't think that should be the case. Something needs to be done about that. But let's move on to Brisbane really quickly. Australia is normally a region known for having its, I don't want to say like a vastly different metagame, but generally they have like different teams succeeding, and you guys can see that here as well, right? Like if you look at the top, if you compare the top cut of Gdansk to the top cut of Brisbane, I don't want to say it's completely different, but it is, there's a lot more going on in Brisbane here, and yes, that is a Clefable in 5th place. We will get to that shortly. First off, we're going to start with the double Psy Spam in 3rd place and 4th place, right? Definitely never a bad thing to see Psy Spam. Once again, I'm not a huge fan of Psy Spam, but it is a good team, and I have to respect it. Expanding Force is a broken move, and obviously played well can get the results that it probably deserves to get. Now, I am very happy to see that the 2 balanced teams have remained supreme to the 2 Psy Spam teams. That's just a personal opinion. Nothing against those who use Psy Spam. Just not a big fan of Psy Spam, and I am a big fan of balance. So seeing the balance succeed, really, really, really cool here. Double Amoonguss victory again. Dusclops in 2nd, incredibly, incredibly cool. I like the team from Lewis's end. Really, really quickly before we just get off this topic, since we're already here, Connor's team with the Regidrago. Now, Regidrago is a Pokemon that's seen usage before. However, now we're seeing it on Connor's team here, and it's more looking like it's on the Trick Room team here. This is a Trick Room Regidrago, in my opinion. Obviously, I don't know EV spreads, and I don't think Brisbane was streamed, so it's very tough to actually get this information. But what I think is cool is a different take on Regidrago. I think this is extremely underexplored. You normally get that Regidrago on those Tailwind teams that are just going to use Regidrago, go fast, go burr. But now you actually counter those Tailwind teams, so it doesn't matter if they have their own Tailwind. You get your Trick Room up, and then Regidrago goes crazy. I think this might be a little bit underexplored. I think it's a very cool concept from Connor. I really like seeing it. It was really, really cool. Okay. What else did I have to talk about? Right. The Clefable in 5th place. That is everybody's big question right now. Why is there a Clefable in 5th place? Okay. So, really, really, really underrated Pokemon. Oh, okay. Hold up. Now, I don't want to say underrated, but I think people forget that it actually has a good ability and that it actually has some decent stats to back that up. Obviously, I don't know if it's a huge piece in the metagame, but Unaware is a really good ability. The Dondozo setup in front of you, I don't care. You know, you can do things. You have that fairy type coverage that actually does things in this meta, right? I think it's a really cool pick. I'm not so certain on all of Daniel's team, but I think I wanted to talk about the Clefable really quickly just because I think it's a cool pick, right? Obviously, it did Daniel well, got 5th place at the regional, so obviously he saw something that no one else did, and I respect it. I think Clefable was a cool pick. Really, really quickly before we wrap up, 3 King Gambits in top 8. Once again, love seeing King Gambit. Definitely love that support right there. But one thing, we're just going to end it off. We're going to end it off right here. We're going to end this thing with there are no Torn Urshifu in the top 8. I think that's a perfect spot to end. Not much else to say, guys. Obviously, there's some other cool teams as well if you keep scrolling down. Like I said, these are meant to be a snapshot, so we're going to leave it at that. Exactly that. It is a snapshot. So with that, thank you all so much for checking out the video. If you guys do enjoy this type of content, please feel free to leave a like and subscribe. It really does help out the channel. And of course, I really do appreciate it. But with that, I'm going to get on out of here. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will catch you all in a future video.